Okay, let's kick off this explainer with a question that seems pretty simple at first glance. What exactly makes a nation? I mean, we use the word literally every single day, but if you actually try pinning it down, it gets incredibly slippery. Is it just, lines drawn on a map? Is it a shared language? Or is it something much, much deeper?
Well, welcome to our exploration of nationalism. It's this powerful and honestly, sometimes really volatile political force that has undeniably shaped the modern world we live in today. Today, we're going to unpack the invisible glue that brings people together into a nation-state and the ideologies that drive folks to protect, celebrate, or even violently expand those borders.
So looking at the building blocks, there are really 5 core traits that organically bind a people together into a collective identity. Now, no two nations have the exact same mix, right? But these are the key ingredients. First up, language, which implies a long, shared history. Next is culture, creating this sort of collective consciousness. Then you've got geography, those physical borders that resonate deeply with a people. Fourth is ethnicity, which forges a very distinct identity. And finally, religion, which historically has sustained national identity even when a physical state doesn't exist.
To really wrap our heads around this massive subject, we're going to explore 4 distinct branches today. 1. Liberal nationalism. 2. Conservative nationalism. 3. Expansionist nationalism. And 4. Post-colonial nationalism. Let's dive right in.
Branch number 1. Liberal nationalism.
Emerging back in the 18th century, thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau started challenging autocratic monarchies with what was, at the time, a radical idea. He argued a nation should be built on rational self-determination. In this view, you actually don't need a shared religion or race. Instead, individuals voluntarily unite through a social contract. It's what we call civic nationalism. Basically, membership just requires a commitment to shared values and individual liberty. Now take those liberal values and apply them on a global scale. The goal here is mutual respect between nations. The thinking goes, just as individuals have rights, nations do too. And that leads us to liberal internationalism, the belief that democratic states absolutely should cooperate as equals. Supranational organizations, like the United Nations, are essentially the physical embodiment of this attempt to maintain international order and foster global interdependence.
Moving right along to branch number 2. Conservative nationalism.
So this branch arises as a direct reaction against those rational liberal ideas we just talked about. Conservative thinkers like Johann von Herder believe the world is organically divided. He argued that people are actually bound by deep emotional ties, things like shared historical experiences and languages. This whole idea is beautifully captured in the concept of Volksgeist, which translates to the spirit of the nation. It suggests that a nation isn't just some political arrangement you can simply opt into. No, it's an organic entity with a totally unique cultural character that gives people a profound sense of belonging.
Crucially, this type of nationalism thrives on maintaining national unity through shared tradition. It leans heavily on a sort of rose-tinted nostalgia for past triumphs. Think about it. The absolute, undeniable collective joy of a World Cup victory or a grand royal wedding. These cultural touchstones are vital. Why? Because they reinforce an emotional, shared history, putting the preservation of the nation way above pure individualism.
Now things take a darker turn in branch number 3, expansionist nationalism.
If conservative nationalism looks inward to preserve tradition, expansionist nationalism looks outward to dominate. It's a really stark contrast. While civic nationalism is inclusive and respects sovereignty, expansionist nationalism is highly exclusive or integral. It completely rejects equality. Instead, it operates on the dangerous premise that one specific nation is inherently superior to literally all others, and dictates that citizenship requires a shared, specific race. This regressive superiority complex is officially known as chauvinistic nationalism, and it completely throws democratic ideals and individual liberty right out the window in favor of this idea of a historic destiny. It essentially argues, and this is a tough pill to swallow, that weaker nations are naturally meant to be subjugated by stronger ones.
We see the devastating historical reality of these theories in integral nationalism. Under this model, the individual is entirely absorbed into the collective mass. Thinkers like Charles Maurras argued that individuals are merely servants of the nation. You owe blind, absolute obedience to the state. The collective identity is everything, and individual freedom, well, it's absolutely nothing. And when pushed to its radical, racist extremes, this ideology results in catastrophic destruction. Radical nationalism uses distorted mythology to try and create a pure national identity. It manifests in terrifying historical moments, like the infamous 1933 book burnings. These were literal attempts to erase cultures deemed inferior, all in the pursuit of absolute national purity and global domination. It truly serves as a permanent historical warning for us.
Finally, we rise from those dark chapters to our fourth branch, post-colonial nationalism.
As indigenous populations globally started to actively reject illegitimate colonial rule, early leaders quickly realized they needed to forge strong collective identities to actually resist. Take Marcus Garvey, for instance, who championed black nationalism. Now, this wasn't just about drawing new lines on a map. It was about fostering deep pride. It was about recognizing a common ancestry and uniting oppressed peoples globally to successfully push back against the suppression of imperialism.
What is truly fascinating about this final branch is its incredible political diversity. Once independence was achieved, leaders globally synthesized their fight for freedom with some incredibly varied models. You've got Kwame Nkrumah using Pan-Africanism and Marxism in Ghana, Mahatma Gandhi blending liberalism and socialism in India, and Ho Chi Minh utilizing Maoist-style Marxism in Vietnam. They all adapted nationalism to serve their own unique goals of nation-building.
So after examining its civic roots, its conservative traditions, its catastrophic expansionist extremes, and of course its role in anti-colonial liberation, we want to leave you with this final thought. Moving forward into the 21st century, to what extent will global nationalism be an inclusive, democratic force that unites us versus a purely cultural or even racist one that divides us? It's a huge question, but it's one that continues to redraw the map of our world today.